Yeah, so I'm going to be reviewing She-Hulk 102, titled Superhuman Law. There's a new episode every single week. There's 9 total episodes, so I'm going to be reviewing all of them per week. Again, this is 102. Because I enjoyed the review, hit the like button down below, subscribe if you're new. Turn notifications on. Let's get right into talking about the episode. Almost a video. It's early in the morning. Deal with it. It was a very good episode. I really liked it. Again, these reviews are just being my opinions on the episode, not really going through what happened, because maybe a lot of you haven't seen the episode, but I'll be bringing up things on the episode in this review, these reviews that I'm doing. But I really liked the episode. I don't know if it was better than the pilot. It was kind of a continuation and the backlash of the pilot. Because I was seeing the pilot, we had Jen revealing pretty much to the entire world that she's She-Hulk. There was really no, no, like, secret identity thing there. And the news is going around giving her the name She-Hulk, which Jen did not like the name at all. She thought it was a joke of a name, which it does sound kind of weird. You know, if you really think about it, you have a Hulk and you have a She-Hulk. Like, was there a He-Hulk or a, I mean, I guess that's the Hulk, but it was kind of, I understand why Jen thinks it's weird. It's a weird name for her, but it is a cool name. Going like 50-50 on it, but I do like that dynamic that we have with Jen there, not really liking the name at all. But you can't really change it either. But, however, her being so popular as She-Hulk has actually cost her a job. She's no longer an attorney because the jury was actually believed to be siding with Jen because they saved her life. Or she saved their lives, I mean. So, there's no possible way they couldn't have been biased in that jury, so they had to fire her from the case, get her off the case, and fire her from the apartment that she was working at. So she's jobless, and she's trying to get all these other jobs. They won't let her into being an attorney, but the defense, the same people that they were trying to go up against, or prosecution, was it? I think it was prosecution, right? Trying to get Jen on their team, but not as Jen. They were trying to get her on as She-Hulk because there's a new superhuman law division that they want Jen on to help, like, superhuman villains, supervillains who are on parole, to get them off and get them back to their lives. Hopefully without the superhuman part on some level. Especially those who like Abomination or, whoever who was brought up in this episode. We didn't really see him in Abomination form till later in the end of the episode. We'll see more in 103, which is airing next week. But nonetheless, what I really liked what we got with Abomination. And the prison that he's in is obviously high tech, right? So you have to wonder, did Tony have a part in that? Or did Bruce make that, the area of the prison where Abomination is in? Because the lasers there, they can only let people pass if you had clearance. And lasers would, like, go up, but they would detect where you're at. You couldn't cross over a yellow line. You couldn't go near the cage because Abomination could break out. So it was something to see. And also, I wasn't expecting Abomination to be in human form. That was something I was not expecting. And so when I saw that, I was surprised to see him in human form and not, again, Hulk form. But that was amazing to see. The actor is doing an amazing job. We saw Adrian Chase in this episode. Obviously not Adrian Chase, but the guy who played him. Josh Barrowman, I think his name is. Josh Segarra. John Barrowman's Malcolm Merlin in Arrow. I'm an idiot. Josh Segarra, who played Adrian Chase on Arrow, is now playing an attorney on some level. He's going to be helping out She-Hulk, I think, every now and then, from what it seems like. So I'm glad we're getting more of him. I'm glad he's getting an MCU debut. Seems like any DC character now, we're just getting in the MCU. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Grant Gustin in like 10 years on the MCU. Wouldn't that be something, especially if he's playing Quicksilver, wouldn't that be something that Grant playing Quicksilver goes from the Flash to Quicksilver? That'd be something to see for sure. But nonetheless, it was very nice to see him return. We haven't seen him since Arrow, at least in the superhero world, so it's very cool to see him return. Let alone as a normal human being, because he will be a normal human being. But the only thing I could hear come out of his mouth was just creepy. I couldn't get like a normal human kindness kind of vibe. I just got like, okay, this guy's freaky. He's a psychopath, but he's amazing. I love him, but he just sounded like a psychopath in that scene. I don't know, because I'm so used to hearing Prometheus out of that mouth and that person. I don't know. But all I heard was, I want to kill you, you're a psychopath, and here we go. But I guess that's a downside of knowing Arrow so well. But nonetheless, it was very good seeing him back. I'm very excited to see where this route goes with She-Hulk being an attorney, and let alone an attorney at law, because now we're actually getting into the title of the show. Because with Jen being an attorney, that's not She-Hulk. Yes, Jen is She-Hulk, but She-Hulk's not an attorney. Now she is. And now we're diving deep into, okay, we have She-Hulk trying to get Abomination out, which she talked to Bruce about because that was conflict there. And Bruce is okay with it because Abomination apologized for everything he did in a letter, which, sketchy as hell. But he said he also did the same thing for all his other people, the victims that he went after, the people he went after, and the people he killed. Did he kill anyone? I think they said he did. But the thing that caught my eye was they made him a super soldier. And now I don't know if that was in the comics or not, but I found that interesting because they gave him a super soldier serum to go after the Hulk, which makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, Captain America versus the Hulk, right? Captain America could hold his own. He wouldn't win, probably. But because of the super soldier serum, he could most likely at least hold his own. Compared to, Black Widow, if she's going up against the Hulk, she wouldn't last long. She would probably get thrown into a wall and either A, die or B, go unconscious. That's what we're dealing with. So if you're going to fight a Hulk, you would at least need a super soldier serum, tongue twister, and with Abomination, you would need Hulk powers. So having a super soldier serum mixed in with Hulk powers, that obviously makes a deadly combo to be able to fight the Hulk. Obviously, Hulk still won that, but it was enough to at least have a good fight between the two. Now, with that all being said, we did see Abomination in his Hulk form at the episode, I believe fighting, he was fighting Wong, we knew would be in this series from the trailers, so I really do hope we get more of that next episode, because that's going to be really interesting. But he managed to break out of prison, She-Hulk now to deal with that, so that's going to be very nice to see where all that goes. But I'm really excited to see where this She-Hulk being an attorney goes, because obviously it's the title of the show. She-Hulk attorney at law. Hulk even brought that up. I think it's going to be very cool to see, because this is the first time that's ever really been done. Because it's not just a law show, right? It's a superhero law show, and it's with She-Hulk being an attorney. Right? It's the exact opposite of what we got in the pilot. With what Jen, when she was in the fourth dimensional wall break, saying this is a law show, she's an attorney. It's not really that. It's more to it than that. And we're diving deep into that in this episode. Really dive deep into that in 103 and throughout the rest of the series. But, again, I'm really excited to see where all goes. So, yeah. I think I pretty much hit everything. I was kind of expecting the Tinder stuff to happen this week. I was kind of expecting that whole story arc to happen. Maybe it'll happen in 103. I don't know. But I was expecting during that time period between when she was fired and when she got hired that she would be on Tinder and that, going through that. I was kind of expecting that scene to be put in there. This was a very short episode compared to the pilot. I think it was like, 20 minutes long or 24 minutes long? And we had like a 2-minute previously on scene, and we had like a 4-minute credit. So these episodes, which they're previously on, I get why they're doing it, but is it really necessary? It was a week ago. I mean, compared to a show like this, do you really need it? I feel like they could have just saved up more time without that. That's the only thing I need to nitpick is, why have it previously on? I get that the Arrowverse shows did that for years, and the Flash got out of it, thankfully, so we can have more time for the story, and it's not being shortened by like 2 to 3 minutes, which does actually kind of hurt the episode in some cases if they don't do it right, which Eric Wallace tends to do things correctly when he did season 6A. I think that's when they're still doing it. But in season 7, they kind of got out of that. Season 8, they heavily got out of that. So I think, having it previously on, it works in some cases it doesn't. This episode, I don't think it really affected much because there wasn't like a lot going on. And they obviously wanted to save the bigger stuff from 103, like related to Abomination and that. But I do hope that the previously on won't be like a episode killer here. And what I mean by that is, here's 2 minutes of previously on, and now we're getting a short episode with 4 minutes credits. You don't get that much. Here we go. I hope that's not really what the show is going to be like, because that's kind of annoying to me, but that's me. A lot of you might like the previously on, might remind you, what happened. Me personally, I don't need it. I remember what happened. It should just be picking up episode after episode. So I get why they do that, but is it really necessary? No. In my opinion, it's not. But nonetheless, that's the only thing I had to nitpick. There wasn't any problem with any of the scenes. There were a few bits of the CGI on She-Hulk where I was like, is that legit? It doesn't look finished in some areas, especially in the, like Jen's office and that whole area. It didn't look as good. It still looked great. Don't get me wrong, it still looked great. But it didn't look as good compared to like if she was out in the field or even in that courtroom. It just looked a little bit off. I don't know what they could have done there to change that. I know there's a lot going into the Hulk CGI, which is why they don't really do much movies with Hulk. Like, there's not a Hulk movie. Speaking of the Hulk, we saw him on a Sakaar ship at the end of the episode, tying into the pilot. So I'm assuming that's going to be tying into something completely random later in the series or another Avengers movie. And also we had Jen having dinner with her family. It was a post-credit scene helping her family, do stuff around the house as She-Hulk. So, the dynamic with Jen, I really love in the show. They're really doing a very good job having a different feeling when we see Jen and when we see She-Hulk. Obviously, people love She-Hulk more than Jen. People love Jen, but they love She-Hulk more, and because of what she can do. Compared to Jen, who's jobless, doesn't have superpowers. Those are two things that She-Hulk can do. She-Hulk has a job. She-Hulk has superhero powers, and she's a Hulk. So, there's again 3 things that Jen doesn't have. I mean, yeah, she's She-Hulk, but people need to She-Hulk, not Jen. So I'm interested if we're going to see that dynamic change throughout the show, or if it's going to stay, or where people kind of balance it out to where they need Jen, but they also need She-Hulk. It's going to be a 50-50 back and forth, because we didn't really get that this week, which isn't surprising. I'm not hating on that. I think it's good that we didn't. But it's going to be nice to see where all that goes. So, yeah. Thank you guys for all the support. I really do appreciate it. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.